Hi everyone, my name is Isha Taspia, and today my group and I are presenting Yanaka, the Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage. And what exactly is Yanaka, Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage? In Japanese, it's called Yanaka Shichifukujin Meguri, and it's one of Tokyo's oldest New Year's tradition. The route takes you through three different historic neighborhoods, which are Yanaka, Nippori, and Ueno. And you visit seven different temples throughout this route, and which are dedicated to seven lucky gods. People do this walk to pray for things like good health, fortune, prosperity, and wisdom. To give you an idea about the route itself, it covers seven different temple stops for over 5 to 6 kilometers long, which is roughly 3 to 4 miles. And it's most popular during the first 10 days of January for New Year's. And even beyond the spiritual side of it, it's just a cool way to explore a really historic side of Tokyo. Now let's take a closer look at Yanaka itself, one of Tokyo's most historic and charming neighborhoods located in Taito City, Tokyo. To really appreciate the pilgrimage, it helps to understand Yanaka's rich history, its unique community, and what makes the area so special. Looking at its history, Yanaka was initially developed during the Edo period, um, from 1603 to 1868. Over the centuries, it grew into a major religious hub, becoming home to more than 70 Buddhist temples. Because Yanaka was largely sparred from major disasters and more destruction, it stands today as one of the very few neighborhoods that has preserved the authentic historic atmosphere of Old Tokyo. Regarding its community, Yanaka is a very peaceful, living residential area. It isn't just a historic site, it's a neighborhood where a long time local families, artists, cafes, and traditional small businesses thrive together. This creates a warm, welcoming environment enjoyed by both locals and visitors. Known throughout Japan as a doorway to Old Tokyo, Yanaka features traditional winding streets, preserved wooden buildings, deep roots in history, culture, and religion. In short, it offers a serene, nostalgic claim into Tokyo's past, making it the perfect setting for the Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage. Beyond the pilgrimage route itself, the Yanaka district offers a very rich variety of cultural and local experiences. If you're wondering what else to see and do while visiting Yanaka, here are the top highlights. First, Yanaka Ginza is Japan's famous and traditional shopping street. It's packed with local cafes, street food vendors, and traditional souvenir shops that capture the warm retro vibe of old Tokyo. Second, you can visit the historic temples. Yanaka is home to over 70 Buddhist temples, including the key temples from the Seven Lucky God, as we discussed. Um, then third, there's Yanaka Cemetery. While it sounds very unusual, it is a serene, historic, significant landmark that become one of Tokyo's um, most stunning, peaceful cherry blossoms viewing spots in the spring. It is also great for art, pottery, and traditional street food like fresh senbei rice crackers and taiyaki. Plus, Inaka is also known as Tokyo's cat town because of all the local street cats and cat themed shops around the neighborhood.
Now let's look at the pilgrimage route itself. The Yanaka Seven Lucky God pilgrimage follows a walking path of about 5 to 6 kilometers, or roughly 3 to 4 miles, through the historic neighborhoods of Yanaka, Nippori, and Ueno. The traditional starting point is near Tabata Station, and the route ends in Ueno Park. Along the way, pilgrims visit seven temples, each dedicated to one of the seven lucky gods. Because the route is relatively short and easy to walk, it is popular with both the local residents and the tourists, especially during the New Year's when many people complete the pilgrimage to pray for good fortune in the year ahead. So far, we've explored the pilgrimage route and why it has remained an important tradition for centuries. However, the true focus of the pilgrimage is the seven lucky gods. Each temple along the route is dedicated to a different deity, with each one offering unique blessing. Before we visit each temple, let's take a closer look at the seven lucky gods and what they represent. The seven lucky gods have been an important part of Japanese culture for hundreds of years. The Yanaka Seven Lucky God pilgrimage is believed to have begun during the Edo period, making it one of Japan's oldest seven lucky God pilgrimages. Although they are worshipped together, they actually come from several different religious traditions, including Shinto, Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism, and Chinese folk religion. This combination reflects how Japanese spirituality has blended different beliefs over time. Traditionally, people complete the Yanaka Seven Lucky God pilgrimage during the New Year season because it is believed to bring blessings for the new year ahead, including good luck, health, happiness, wealth, and wisdom. Along the route, pilgrims collect goshuin, or temple seal stamps, purchase amamori, or which are lucky charms, and receive omikuji, or fortune slips. The seven lucky gods are also commonly shown sailing up together aboard the Tagarabune, or treasure ship, which symbolizes prosperity and good fortune for the coming year. Now that we've covered the history and significance of the pilgrimage, let's meet the seven lucky gods themselves. As we go through each temple, we'll learn about the god honored there, their symbol, and why people continue to visit these temples to pray for their blessings today.
The next stop is Togakuji Temple, whose lucky god is Fukuroju. This temple was founded in 1491, and it is typically the traditional starting point of the Yanaka Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage. It is a Buddhist temple known for its neo-garden statues covered with red paper prayers for healing. Additionally, the temple features a garden displaying statues of all the seven lucky gods during the new year. Furukoju, who resides in this temple, is the god of wisdom, happiness, wealth, and longevity. He has a long forehead, a walking staff, and a scroll. Next is Seonji Temple, whose lucky god is Ibisu. It is a quiet temple in Nishi Napori associated with novelist Takizawa Baken. In this temple, you can see his memorial stone. Ibisu is the only one of the seven lucky gods who is native to Japan. All the other gods in the pantheon come from different regions. Ibisu is the god of business success, fishing, agriculture, and prosperity. He is usually depicted holding a fishing rod and a sea bream, which are symbols of abundance and good fortune. Next is Shushoin Temple, whose lucky god is Hotai. It is a colorful temple that has bright pink walls, and it is decorated with many paintings of Hotai. Hotai is the god of happiness, generosity, abundance, and contentment. He is based on a Chinese Zen monk, and he is recognized by his smiling face, large belly, cloth sack, and fan. Pilgrims who visit the temple can rub Hotai's belly for good luck. Next is Tennoji Temple, whose lucky god is Bishamonte. This is one of the oldest temples in Yanaka. It was built in 1272 and has since shifted through many religions. This temple has a connection to the Yanaka Cemetery, as it was originally part of the Tennoji premises but was later confiscated to separate Buddhism and Shintoism. The temple has a mix of traditional and modern designs on the grounds, contributing to preserving old Tokyo. Bishamonten is known as the god of wealth, treasure, and warriors, while also the protector of Buddhism and dispenser of riches. The Tennoji Daibutsu was constructed in 1690, where it has a legendary status. There is also a shrine housing the image of Bishamonten, where many will pray for good fortune.
Hello, I'm Sally, and I will be discussing the last temples of the pilgrimage. So the next temple is the Choaji Temple, which is dedicated to Jorojin, and he's often depicted as the god of wisdom, good health, and long life. He is often portrayed as an old man who carries a staff and scroll in both of his hands. And he's also depicted with a deer by his side. And this deer represents longevity, but also serves as his divine messenger. The temple itself is near the Yanaka cemetery, similar to the previous temple that was discussed. And this provides an opportunity for prayer and reflection during the pilgrimage. One of the temple's most famous attributes is the Goyako Rakan, and these are the 500 Buddhist monk statues, which represents the students of the Buddha. And these are the students that collected his sutras after he had died. And another interesting point of fact about these statues is that each has its own unique appearance. None of them have their own similar face. They're all unique in their own different aspects. Um, the next temple is the Gokokan in temple for Daigo Goten, and he's the lucky god dedicated to agriculture, commerce, food, prosperity, and wealth. He's often depicted on rice bales where he holds a mallet and there are white mice. The mallet is meant for granting wishes, while the white mice are meant to represent abundant harvests and wealth. The temple was first founded in the 1630s by the Buddhist monk Tenkai and is currently belongs to the Tendai school of Buddhism. And over the years, it has developed a history of resilience. It has been able to survive multiple different types of disasters. These disasters include earthquakes, fires, and wars, including World War II. Visitors of the pilgrimage can explore the gardens on the premises, an outdoor no stage for dramas and music, and a traditional Dakami room where the pilgrims and other visitors are able to get their goshin. The temple also provides the opportunity to visit a cemetery, which has many important Japanese figures throughout its history. One of the most famous ones is perhaps the former Prime Minister Sanjo Santomi, where many are able to go and pay their respects. And the last pilgrimage temple is the Kaioji Temple or the Bento Hall in Oino Park and is dedicated to the goddess Benzaiten. And she is the only goddess of the group, and she represents music, wisdom, learning, wealth, and water. She is depicted with a biwa or a Japanese lute. This represents her as the patron of the arts, which gathers together the musicians, dancers, and artists. Her temple is surrounded by rivers and lakes filled with lotus flowers, which reflects her attributes to her title of a water goddess and how she's able to oversee all that flows in the world. There is a statue of her in the middle of the temple, which is in an octagonal design. This helps to represent her 8 arms that you could see in the image in the PowerPoint. And this allows pilgrims to worship the goddess at any angle of the temple. Uh, the temple sells fortunes that could be purchased and opened there. And if a visitor does not receive a good fortune, then they can tie the fortune to a wire on the premises. And this symbolizes that there is no bound path in the world. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alonzo. I'm part of the team 5, and I'll be doing slides 16 through 21. So slide 16, who supports the pilgrimage? The pilgrimage is mainly supported by merchant associations of the Yanaka Ginza shopping district. Every New Year, they help organize the event by setting up a registration booth where participants receive maps showing the temple routes. For the first 100 participants, there are also given free food, drinks, and a pilgrimage scroll. While additional scrolls can be purchased later, this community helps support and preserve one of Tokyo's oldest pilgrimage traditions and encourage both local and tourists to take part each year. Continuing on to slide 17, what makes the the Yanaka pilgrimage special? So what makes the Yanaka Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage unique is that it combines spirituality, history, and culture into one experience. As pilgrims walk through the preserved streets of Old Tokyo, they not only visit historic temples, but they also experience a neighborhood that has maintained much of its traditional atmosphere. Along the way, visitors collect gushun or temple stamps and pray for blessings from each of these seven gods. This combination of religious practice and cultural exploration makes the pilgrimage especially meaningful during the new year. Continuing forth with slide 18, some interesting facts. Um, some about interesting facts of pilgrimage. It's considered Tokyo's oldest official seven lucky pilgrimage, dating back to the Edo period. Unlike some of the seven lucky god routes, every stop on this pilgrimage is a Buddhist temple, one unique tradition that takes place at the Toku the to Togakuji Temple, excuse me, is where visitors place red paper on part of the guardian statue that matches where they feel pain, praying for healing. An aerial stop is at the Shushun Temple, known for its bright pink walls decorated with artwork of the Hote. And then finally, the pilgrimage ends at the Ben, Bentendo Hall, which sits in the middle of the Shinobazu Pond, and it is surrounded by beautiful lotus flowers. Here on slide 19, you'll see that these are our resources we use throughout our presentation. We gathered information from official tourism sites, temple websites, and academic research to ensure that our information about the Yanaka Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage, the temples, and the Seven Lucky Gods was accurate and reliable. And you'll see here in slide 20, this is our resources continued. So it just has additional supportive references for our supported research. So these are just additional sources of provided information about like the history of the pilgrimage, the temples, and the cultural traditions that like make and or like that continue to make the New Year's pilgrimage an important part of the Japanese spirituality today. And on behalf of Team 5 and everything going on with the semester, I would like to thank you all for listening to our presentation on the Yanaka 7 Lucky Gods pilgrimage. We hope you enjoyed learning about this unique tradition and how it brings together history, religion, and culture in Japan. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have, put them in the description box, and thank you for your time.